Our story begins after the invasion of the Skrulls of Earth. Heroes have been replaced. No one can trust anyone, and the person who comes out the hero of it all is none other than Norman Osborn. He has killed the Skrull Queen and ended the Skrull invasion and gained a lot of trust with the government and powers that be. S.H.I.E.L.D. been disbanded, and Norman has been put in charge of the newly formed Hammer. So that is where our story picks up, and you know Norman. Once he has power, it's only a matter of time before he begins to consolidate, and the treachery begins for Dark Reign, Dark Avengers, and the Cabal. Our man Norman has an idea. The Avengers have the Illuminati, and we need something to counter that. Something evil, something that I can control. So Norman goes out and seeks the counterparts to the Illuminati, starting with Dr. Doom, a counterpart to Reed Richards and the ruler of Latveria. Doom is a formidable opponent, so why not put him on your team? And of course, we need a counterpart to Thor, so we have Lady Loki. Loki in her female form, if you didn't know. Loki is gender fluid. They can be whatever gender they want, whenever they want, fitting the circumstances, and they will identify as such. In Norse mythology, Loki even had a child as a mare. So, you know, Loki's gender fluid. Happy Pride Month, but yes, another formidable addition to the Cabal. Next on this growing roster of the world's most influential, quote-unquote, evil people, because they're not all evil, as evidenced by Emma Frost joining the team out of the better interest for mutants and not so much out of interest for herself and power. So look out for her. And next we have Namor, who, if you didn't know, was also in the Illuminati, and he just plays both sides so that Atlantis is protected no matter what happens. We have Parker Robbins, the Hood, who represents the lower criminal organizations in the world, although he is granted power by an evil mystical demon. And then of course the final member of the Cabal, Taskmaster, and he is a force to be reckoned with. If you don't know in the comic books, Taskmaster copies other people's abilities. So a very intriguing and interesting team to control a shadow government of the world, as it were, in Norman's eyes. And after the invasion of Earth by the Skrulls and the Avengers were infiltrated, there is a lot of distrust, and Norman capitalizes on that by forming another team, a team of Dark Avengers, as it were. And this team is meant to mimic and copy a lot of heroes that people have come to look up to, and we have a very intriguing cast of villains here as well. So Norman is playing a lot of games here, and you know, you play some stupid games, you win some stupid prizes, and a lot of this is going to backfire in Norman's face eventually. But for now, things are looking up, and he's forming another team. Joining Norman first on this team of disguised supervillains as superheroes, we have Miss Marvel, played by Moonstone. And yes, Moonstone is a supervillain, and she is posing as Carol Danvers. And Norman is like, sweet. That is one spot filled, and the next spot goes to Matt Gargan, in possession of the symbiote. So he is portraying Spider-Man in the black suit, and Norman loves having the symbiote in his pocket because it's very useful. Next up, we have Dakin, the son of Wolverine, of course, portraying his father. And he's a much meaner, much taller version of Wolverine. So anyone who looks and who's like, oh yeah, it's the same Wolverine, they're probably on drugs. Next up, we have Noh-Varr, Marvel Boy, as Captain Marvel, although this did not last long. Because once he found out he was, well, after he slept with Moonstone, because she was like, oh, you're cute. And he's half cockroach, half Kree. So I don't know what that's all about, but they smashed, and then he's like, wait, you're not Carol Danvers, you're a bunch of supervillains? And she's like, yeah, what's the problem with that? So he leaves the team. So Noh-Varr is very briefly on the team, so we're gonna just remove him. And if you want a powerhouse team of heroes, you need a powerhouse. So Norman contracted the Sentry to be their, essentially, muscle in the group. And then the last two, we don't have updated figures for, and I don't have them, but we have Ares, the god of war, for their Thor counterpart, and then we have Bullseye as Hawkeye. So yeah, those are two figures I really hope that we get on a Dark Avengers retro card, or just in general, just release them in a wave. I don't care. But these Avengers operate under government sanction, further discrediting the real superheroes that we've all come to know and love. And what they're doing in the background, it's violent, it's messy, it's gross, but it's portrayed as heroic and Avenger-like, so they're, kind of basking in the limelight, while Norman is also manipulating things from the shadows. And Osborn didn't just take control, he rebranded the Avengers. They were gone, and these were the Dark Avengers, villainous monsters in disguise, masquerading as heroes. And that's just what Norman likes. The cracks begin to show in the Cabal in the meantime, because Emma Frost and Namor have chosen their side, and their side is mutant kind, and they are going off to try and help the mutants by forming an island utopia for all mutant kind. And Norman should have seen that coming, because Emma Frost and Namor already knew each other. They've bumped uglies. They've come and like literally bumped. They've done the sideways tango, as it were. And they're also both mutants. Well, Namor's half mutant, and they are both also looking out for the betterment of their people. So they both know that they have the best interests of Atlantis and the mutants in mind, and Norman does not. So they are all out of the Cabal. They are off forming a utopia for the X-Men. Loki whispered into Norman's ear, "Asgard is your enemy. We need to invade Asgard. We need to stop them." Because, as you know, Loki is out for herself and herself only. And this is her play. Manipulate Norman into doing her will. And Norman does just that. He declares war on the gods of Asgard. And an all-out siege on Asgard begins. An all-out siege of Asgard has begun, which unites the tempered and ready heroes who come to fight back. And this, in part, causes the Sentry to lose control. And when the Sentry loses control, the Void begins to take over. So there's a bigger problem. Everyone is focused on the Void. And by the end of it all, the Dark Avengers, Norman, have all been defeated, and our heroes stand triumphant, because when the Avengers assemble, they avenge the wrongs that were done. So the Dark Avengers are no more. Norman has been exposed. And for now, Norman is taken into custody. The Avengers have been reassembled, reinstated, and reentrusted by the people. And Norman has a long time to think about his next plan and his next play, because believe me, Norman is just getting started. So with all of that being said, y'all, I hope that you liked my Dark Avengers Dark Reign video. I did have to do some research. It did take me a while to get this done. I was hoping to have Bullseye and Ares by the time I finished it, but we don't have them yet. So when in Rome, just visit the Colosseum. So I visited the Colosseum and finally made the video. So I think I'm going to make this members first, because my last members first video got messed up. So this will go up for members, and then it will go up for everyone. And I'm hoping it does well. I'm hoping to do more comic book retellings with Marvel Legends. I feel like I did a lot better with the moving things around and keeping the imagery changing based on the context of the story in this one. So yeah, if you guys like this video, like I said, smash like, subscribe, become a channel member, because that's the only way you'd have seen this first. Comment, let me know if you like the storyline, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, because I am going to do more. It's just a matter of when and what I'm going to do next. Let me know how your day is going. Happy Pride Month. Stay brave. Keep your head up. Be kind to your local LGBT community. I love you. I will see you next time. And look out for Norman Osborn pretending to be a good guy, because he's never, ever the case.